I really, as I got into it, started looking at the trucking industry, taking a step back from just the drivers and realizing that, if the drivers are unhealthy, it's really affecting everyone. If it's from the companies and costing companies, money from health insurance, work comp, retention, right? And, even safety issues from a driver fatigue standpoint, right? And, I realized that if we can find a solution for drivers, if we can find a solution for the drivers that can be sustainable and they can actually do when they're out on the road, everyone's going to win. And what I like to talk about specifically on LinkedIn is, I really like to bring up some of the comparisons of how drivers' health is affecting the other aspects of the trucking industry, other than the driver's quality of life. And I think that there's a ton of areas where the trucking companies, I think they recognize it, but I think some of them, kind of what you mentioned there, they didn't have, either they didn't have the solution or they didn't have the resources to go and implement a solution for their drivers. So it's kind of been one of those things that just gets swept under the rug. And I've from day one, I knew I was not the only person talking about driver's health in the industry. And to be 100% honest, I am thankful I'm not, because this is such a big problem that if I'd be fooling myself if I think that I can solve the whole problem in the industry all by myself. This is an uphill battle that, if we can get an army, and one of the reasons why I love talking to you, Mark, is because I feel like you're one of the guys behind, on our team caring about this issue, and you're helping push it forward. And I think it's going to take, just more and more of, industry influence, people in the industry that influence the, at each level. So, from the association, from the major, companies, but also from, drivers who other drivers look at, who are recognizing this problem. And, my goal with the truck and fitness company is to give an actionable solution that not only we can empower companies to care about this problem, but if they want to actually solve it and give their drivers something that they can do, boom, the truck and fitness company, here's our solution. And that's kind of been our mission. And as we go forward, our goal is to kind of continue getting in with areas of influence from the state association area, state associations, to the trucking companies, and really cause that trickle down effect into the drivers. Because I think that when I kind of bring it back to that mindset of drivers not thinking it's possible, oh, I'm a truck driver, we don't do that. I think that the carriers and the state associations and the people that kind of influence from a different level, the drivers, have the ability to help those drivers recognize that, number one, they have someone who cares about them enough that they're going to give them resources and guidance to, help their health and wellness, but also to say, hey, you can actually do this, and we want you to do this, and we're going to be on your team. Because, you know and I drivers aren't dumb either. They recognize that if carriers get them healthier and they have healthier drivers, that the carriers win too. So I think if we can use this as a, hey, we're all in this as a team, and we're building this up, and it's going to have a huge impact on you and your family, because your quality of life, and after trucking, you can actually enjoy your retirement and your fruits of your labor. I think that's where the shift happens in the industry. And that's kind of how I'm trying to spearhead this movement. And, things like this podcast, things like the, content on LinkedIn, content on other social media platforms, are just trying to start the conversation. And that's been kind of my mission since day one.